Hello guys, welcome to a Trading Parrot. I'm gonna do my daily altcoins, Bitcoin, USDT dominance routine of analysis. We have a little bit of a breakdown on the altcoin season index that I wanna cover with you guys. At the end of the video, I'm also gonna do an update on support and resistance on Ethereum. When things start getting a little bit gray area, it's always good to look into Ethereum to see what the king of the alts has to say in regards to the rest of the altcoin market. If you want to trade altcoins, whether you want to go for a long or a short with leverage, with no leverage, Bitcoin, whatever you want to trade, one of the best answers is to open an account on the exchange Bluffin. They can give you, including an iPhone 17. That all depends on how much you deposit, how much you trade, in order to secure a reward no matter how much you are gonna trade and deposit. Well, use the link in the description. I will really appreciate it. This is how the altcoin market is looking at the moment. It doesn't look that bad. We got a bunch of winners with double digits, including Litecoin, Chain Opera AI, Sharknet, Zcash, and BitTensor Tau, with some other good mentions like Near Protocol, Optimism, and Polkadot. The vast majority of the top market cap at the moment are in a shallow correction, we could say 1% to 2% maximum. And that has been enough somehow to put Bitcoin at a slightly higher position in the altcoin season index ranking of the past 90 days with a 4.6% performance, outpacing coins like XMR, XRP, SUI, Ondo, and Algo. Those are performing less than Bitcoin and allowing Bitcoin to push higher in the index. And when that happens, basically the altcoin season comes down. Now we have a reading of 59. Yesterday I couldn't put out a video, but we drop into 54. That is beyond the level that we were calling support. 59 is support. Interestingly, now coming back into 59, it's starting to sound like we are retesting a breakdown from the altcoin season away from that into potentially a Bitcoin season. We need to assess whether that's the case. It looks too much like we lost a trend line in here. Altcoins' attention over Google Trends remains at the lows, no signs of a breakout. And we have a noob saying that Ethereum is showing strong consolidation within the weekly range. A breakout seems imminent because we managed to conquer the 4K. We went back down as a liquidity hunt into 3.8. I managed to add some after having sold everything. My last bit was sold at 4.9. And that was looking bullish, but now we have this week into the upside. It makes it look a little bit like a fake breakout to the upside, particularly if we end up losing support and we go for levels like 3.5. Ether National says the Ethereum Bitcoin pair is showing a pattern quite similar to that seen in 2019. The price received a strong reaction from the demand zone and is currently in a falling trend retest process. If it manages to stay above this zone, the first target will be the mid-level supply zone, followed by the major supply zone of 0.08 Bitcoin. So yeah, against Bitcoin, against USDT, and even in terms of Ethereum dominance, which we're gonna look next, everything looks like a breakout that now needs a retest. We talk about needing that retest. What we didn't know is if we need to do it in one or two phases. First, when we pitch into 3.8, and maybe a needed second one when we enter into 3.5. If you watch my dedicated video of Ethereum this week, you already know what I mean when I say a revenge rally. Go and watch this video 2 days ago. I cover extensively and I explain why I'm talking about a revenge rally, whether that's a good or a bad thing. The BTC dominance, on the other hand, we got this tweet saying that it's approaching the 59.5% level I call out in October 4th. We also call out for some upside after a formation of a double bottom. We'll look into that as well, but let's see what this tweet is saying. The fifth way is unfolding as an ending diagonal, not an impulsive move, signaling exhaustion in the BTC dominance. That is a good thing for altcoins. The upside move should be nearing completion. I mean, the most likelihood is that this tweet is right. I support that idea. but I also need to cover invalidation in case we are completely wrong on that. And on the XRP side, Martin is talking about whales offloading. The whale flow, the 30-day moving average, is currently a minus 50 million per day in average. The sell pressure persists, very similar to this topping area. Then they come back very quickly once we were at the lows forming the double bottom. Alts versus USDT. This is very interesting from Altcoin Vector. We are nearing a critical turning point for altcoins. Historically, altcoins alt season begins when the inverse correlation between alts, the X top 20, top 10, and USDT dominance hits its tightest range right before liquidity rotates. That setup is forming again, according to the tweet. Last year, this same divergence triggered an altcoin season, a very short-lived though. As USDT dominance dropped and alts BTC broke higher liquidity flow from Bitcoin, Ethereum, large caps, fueling broad rotation. Right now, the divergence hasn't confirmed yet, so it's an early signal, not fully confirmed. No news on the USD against total free dominance. We're still trapped in this very tight range. Breakout to the upside, bearish, potential bearish market incoming if we did that. Break to the downside, strong or mild altcoin season incoming. So far, holding the support, so no news on that confirmation. Let's look at all the dominance levels. We already hit a 43 RSI. That was kind of the level that I was looking for, and that brought the dominance into 59.37, very close to the 60. If we hit that level as a revenge into 48, we will be hitting roughly 60%. That's the upside that we should be expecting, or slightly higher, looking like reclaiming but very humble break inside, like this one that went into 48.40. That is as much as we can afford. But if we see weakness as we approach this, then we should have a confirmation that new lows on the dominance on Bitcoin are incoming, and therefore altcoin season. Which, to be honest, we already have one in this period, right? The season is confirming, and this is the third one we have during this cycle from after the bear market. I was looking for a longer one, I admit it. But I also say that in the middle of October, we need to get something that makes us feel uncomfortable. The USDT breakout, which is something not bullish, of course, broke down in here, confirming last weekend. This week is doing something really annoying, is wanting to reclaim against that resistance of 45.90 on the RSI. We really want to close this weekend on Sunday, pointing down ideally, or just testing that resistance, not being back inside in the parallel channel and nowhere near the top of the channel. That will be really bleeding for the altcoins. No continuation breakout yet this week on total 3. As you can see, we are below that horizontal line. We are far away from the next level that we need to deal with. And Ethereum dominance, after the breakout and after hitting our resistance, is continuing to slowly and steadily going into our target of 12%. We talked about this more than a month ago when I came back from holidays, and Ethereum has gone up, but Ethereum dominance hasn't. So you got there a divergence that could bleed up until 12. No one knows how much it needs to go lower, but the support is at 49, and you can see that there's a confluence there of the 21 weekly, the RSI of 49, that support there, and it's still pointing down. So it doesn't look like we were that crazy to talk about that. Ethereum potentially this month could form 3 weeks large monthly to the upside, something I don't want to see. These 3 ones in here were definitely hurting the price action of Ethereum right after that. So this month we want to respect for 150. Try to stay green and try to engulf this price action to invalidate the effect of that. From the point of view of momentum, still no harm. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. If you watch the 3 videos today, you're my hero. Continue doing so, and with clicking the like, writing comments down below, and subscribing and sharing it with other people that you think you are gonna enjoy taking their trading to the next level. That will be fantastic. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.